The Last Acorn. A long time ago, in a quiet forest, there lived a young squirrel. He worked harder than any other animal. Every morning before the sun came up, he left his home. Every evening, after the sky grew dark, he came back. He carried acorns all day. One acorn, then another, then another. Autumn had just begun. One day, he met an old turtle beside a stream. The turtle moved slowly. The squirrel moved quickly. The squirrel looked at the turtle and smiled. "Winter will come soon." The turtle nodded. "Yes, it will." The squirrel lifted an acorn. "I am ready." The turtle looked at him. "That is good." The squirrel thought for a moment. Then he asked a question. "How many acorns are enough?" The turtle smiled. His eyes were calm. The one who asks that question often forgets to enjoy the day. The squirrel did not understand. He thanked the turtle and ran away. The next day, he gathered more acorns. The day after that, he gathered even more. Soon, he had more acorns than the rabbits, more than the birds, more than the foxes. He felt proud. But when he looked at his pile, a small voice spoke inside him. "What if winter is longer this year?" The squirrel frowned. That night, he went back out. He gathered more. A rabbit watched him. The rabbit was carrying a single acorn. The squirrel laughed. "Only one?" The rabbit nodded. "It is enough for today." The squirrel shook his head. "You should think about tomorrow." The rabbit smiled. "And you should not forget today." The squirrel walked away. He did not like that answer. Day after day, the pile grew larger. The squirrel worked while others rested. He worked while others talked. He worked while others watched the sunset. Sometimes he wanted to stop. Sometimes he wanted to sit beside the stream. Sometimes he wanted to watch the golden leaves fall from the trees. But each time the same thought came back, just a little more. So he kept going, just a little more. The leaves turned red, just a little more. The air became cold, just a little more. The birds began to leave, just a little more. His pile grew so large that it reached the roof of his home. The rabbit came again. The rabbit looked at the mountain of acorns. Then he asked softly, "Are you happy?" The squirrel looked surprised. "Of course." "Then why do you never smile anymore?" The squirrel opened his mouth, but no words came out. That night he could not sleep. He looked at his acorns. They should have made him feel safe, yet he still felt worried. So the next morning he gathered more. Soon winter stood at the edge of the forest. The wind became sharp. The sky became gray. One afternoon, the first snowflake fell. The squirrel looked up. Then another snowflake came, and another. Winter had arrived. The squirrel smiled. At last, all his hard work would protect him. He hurried home. The snow fell faster. The wind grew stronger. The squirrel ran as quickly as he could. When he finally reached his home, he stopped. His smile disappeared. The entrance was blocked. Acorns covered the opening. The pile had become too large. He stared in silence. For a moment, he could not move. Then he rushed forward. He pushed, he pulled, he threw acorns aside. One after another, his heart pounded. The snow kept falling. The wind kept blowing. The squirrel worked harder than ever. Yet the opening remained closed. He looked at the mountain he had built. For the first time, he was afraid, not of winter, not of hunger, but of his own acorns. He grabbed another and another and another. The pile that once made him proud now stood like a wall between him and safety, a wall between him and home. As the snow covered the ground, the old turtle appeared. Slowly, Quietly, he walked through the storm. The squirrel cried out, "I worked so hard. Why is this happening?" The turtle looked at the acorns. Then he looked at the squirrel. His voice was soft. "Winter did not close your door." The squirrel froze. The turtle continued, "You did." The squirrel looked at the pile. Suddenly, he understood. Every acorn had seemed wise. Every extra acorn had seemed necessary. Every time he said just a little more, it had sounded reasonable. But together, they had become something else. A burden, a wall, a prison. The snow fell silently around him. The squirrel sat down. For a long time, he said nothing. At last, he looked at the sky. Then he whispered, "I thought these would save me." The turtle nodded. So did many others. Winter passed, and spring came again. The snow melted. The trees became green. Small flowers appeared across the forest. One morning, the squirrel stood outside his home. The pile of acorns was gone. Some had been eaten. Some had been carried away. Some had simply disappeared. The squirrel watched the forest wake up. For the first time in many months, he felt light. The rabbit passed by. The squirrel smiled. A real smile. Not the smile of someone who had enough. The smile of someone who finally knew what enough meant. The wind moved gently through the trees, and the squirrel remembered the question he had asked long ago. How many acorns are enough? Now he knew. The answer was never hidden inside the pile. The answer was hidden inside the heart. Because the thing that almost buried him was not winter. It was the fear that whispered, "Just a little more."
The Rich Man's Bread. There was once a rich man who lived in the center of a small town. Everyone knew his name. Everyone respected him. Every year when the harvest festival came, he stood in the town square. He gave fresh bread to the poor. He smiled at every child. He shook every old hand. People clapped for him. Many said, "He has the kindest heart in this town." The rich man always smiled. He bowed his head. He thanked everyone for their warm words. Not far away, at the end of a quiet road, lived an old tailor. Very few people knew his name. His house was small. His clothes were old. Every night, after the lamps in the town went out, he lit one small candle. He picked up the pieces of cloth that others had thrown away. Slowly, with careful hands, he made warm coats. When morning came, the coats were gone. No one saw who left them. Some thought a traveler had left them. Some thought a kind neighbor had done it. No one knew the truth. The years passed. Every autumn, the rich man gave bread in the square. Every winter, warm coats appeared in silence. One gift came with music. The other came before sunrise. One year, the rain did not come. The fields became dry. The wheat died before it could grow. Winter arrived early. Soon there was not enough food. The people gathered in the town square. They looked at the rich man. "You have helped us every year. Please help us again." The rich man lowered his head. His face looked full of sadness. "I wish I could, but this year is difficult for me as well." The people were surprised. Someone whispered, "But your storehouse is the biggest." The rich man looked away. "There is not enough." So the people returned home with empty hands. That winter was colder than any before. Yet something strange happened. On many mornings, warm coats still appeared at the doors of families with children. Old men found thick blankets. Young mothers found warm clothes for their babies. No one knew where they came from. Then, one morning, the coats stopped coming. A few days later, a little girl knocked on the tailor's door. She wanted to thank him for fixing her father's old shirt many months before. No one answered. The neighbors opened the door. The old tailor sat quietly in his chair. The small fire had long gone out. His hands still rested on a piece of cloth. Beside him lay one unfinished coat. The room was almost empty. There was little food, very little wood, but there were small pieces of cloth everywhere. Blue cloth, brown cloth, gray cloth. Every piece had a small note. For the boy with the broken shoes. For the widow near the bridge. For the old fisherman. The people stood in silence. No one spoke. Then they understood. Every coat, every blanket, every warm scarf, they had all come from this quiet room. No one had ever thanked him. No one had ever clapped for him. No one had even known his name. As the people quietly left the house, the old rich man's old servant came forward. He carried a worn notebook. I believe you should see this. Inside were careful records. Every year, the same day, one day before the harvest festival, 300 loaves of bread. Every year, never before, never after. The pages continued. The next page listed new visitors, new business partners, new customers, new agreements. The rich man had never counted the bread he gave away. He had counted the people who watched him. The town became very quiet. No one called him a bad man. He had truly given bread. The hungry had truly eaten. But for the first time, they saw something they had never noticed before. The bread had fed empty stomachs. The praise had fed an empty heart. When spring finally came, the town held another festival. There was no great speech, no music, no loud applause. The people simply placed one empty chair in the middle of the square. Across the chair lay an old needle, a small roll of thread, and one unfinished coat. No one said the tailor's name. Many still did not know it. But that winter, something changed. One family quietly left food at a stranger's door. A young woman repaired an old coat without asking for payment. A baker placed fresh bread outside before sunrise. No one signed their name. Years later, children still asked why people sometimes left gifts in silence. The old people smiled. Then they answered, because the warmest hands are often the ones no one sees. The rich man's name was written on a stone in the center of the town. Time slowly wore the letters away. The tailor's name was never written anywhere. But every winter, when the nights became cold, someone quietly left warmth at another person's door.